front of us here we have the men of Italy, and I should just go through them very quickly. We have, first of all, an Allied platoon of German 720 105s. They're actually Italian vehicles, but used by the Germans. A troop of AB 141 armoured cars, so these are reconnaissance troops. An anti-tank platoon of 75-27 field pieces fitted with heat rounds. A mortar platoon of 2 observers, 4 tubes, and we've added a Panzerschreck to them. An anti-aircraft platoon, 3 20mm guns and commander. 1 artillery battery consisting of 4 tubes, 2 observers, staff team. They have tows as well when we use them. And then we've got the infantry here. Right, we've got 3 infantry platoons, all identical, consisting of 6 rifle machine gun teams and a command SMG Panzerfaust. And then we've got a team of Genieri, it's Italian engineers. They're 9 rifle machine gun troops with an SMG Panzerfaust team and an attached truck. And there's the boss. One in gold and one in silver, the 2 commanders. They're both SMG teams. And that's a 1420 points, that's the Italian army. And now we're going to go through the British army. Which list is this from?
It's
from the basic rule book, is it?
From the forces,
okay.
From the rule book.
So we start off with a platoon of...
this is the HQ platoon of 4 Sherman 5s.
Right, okay, so you've got a commander, a second commander and 2 hangers on?
Yeah.
Oh, very impressive. Then recce platoon?
These are the recce platoon of 2 Daimler 1s and a Daimler Dingo.
These don't have the Little John thing, though?
No.
Then we've got 2 identical platoons.
2 slightly different
Oh, right, okay,
platoons.
sorry, I do apologise.
3 Shermans with a Firefly.
Yeah.
And then 3 Shermans with a Firefly with an anti-aircraft machine gun.
Okay. Some excellent painted British infantry there, I can see.
A rifle platoon, British rifle platoon, 3 rifle squads and the HQ. And then proxies for an American parachute rifle platoon with 3 members in each squad and HQ
and bazookas and things. Yeah. And this is 1420 points. They're obviously the paratroopers will be fearless veteran. The rest are what?
Confident trained.
They're all confident trained. Okay. I should have mentioned that also with the Italians. The Italian army is all confident trained as well, apart from the Lutissem Advantage, which is a confident veteran. Okay, this is the train, as made by the neutral umpire, Isaac. Hello, Isaac. So what we've got here, we've got rough terrain. It's northern Italy, so it's going to be quite hilly. That's a cliff there, look. Difficult going. Trees and rough ground. Another little hill there, slow going. Buildings, rough ground, and Tris. Just looking incredibly as if he knows what he's doing.
Must be some good acting there.
You want to roll the first dice and we'll see what we're going to get. First dice, it's a 2, and I'm going to roll again. It's a 5. We are doing hold the line. Hold the line is the engagement. Okay, I have deployed my artillery at the back here, out of the way, where they can shoot things. I've got my mortars partly operated there with the attached Panzerschreck to it. And I put 1 infantry platoon covering that area there. Okay, so Tris has put down his troopers. He's got 1 Sherman platoon there. The British infantry have occupied that marsh or wood or whatever it is, rough ground. Paratroopers behind the 2nd platoon. The Dingers have already made a reconnaissance move slightly forward, and the other platoon's over there. And that's your entire army, isn't it, Tris?
Yeah.
It's your first turn, isn't it? This is very bad. Okay, end of British turn 1. The British have stormed up there. These have doubled, but there's nobody to shoot at them, so they're fairly safe. All of those fired massive amounts of machine gun shots into these guys. The first platoon was enough to pin them. They actually managed to just kill one guy though. The rest of them are just pinned. And these guys, they all picked on my little observer team here. Hail of bullets, but they survived.
They're living their own mind.
Although they're very, very, very unhappy, as you would be when you're faced by 4 Sherman tanks. So it's Italian term now. Okay, here we go. Okay, well the Italians obviously haven't moved any of their guns or any of their infantry. It's all stuck post. They've popped their ambushes. The 75mm anti-tank guns have popped down here, where they can look up and see those Sherman tanks. And the pioneers have come round here where they can cover the objective, and they've placed a minefield in front of there, which should put a bit of a crimp in your movement options there, Tris. Okay, well the Italians have had their firing turn. The mortars opened fire, dropped a big barrage on them, pinned them and killed one. The artillery opened fire, landed first round, they landed their shots on the Shermans over there and bailed out one of them. They actually got a penetration, but it was only a bail. They failed the firepower, even though they needed 4. Then the anti-tank guns opened fire. They got another bail on the bailed out one, but he made his morale check, so they were okay, and they hit and bailed a second tank. And that concludes the firing for the Italians. Nothing else fired, everything else is just sticking put. Okay, so Tris has taken his second turn. He managed to remount one of the Shermans, but not the other one. So the other 3 just turned around and opened fire at the anti-tank guns and took one out. The other Shermans looped around here, carefully avoiding the minefield, opened fire and took out the other 2. His infantry opened fire at the observer and didn't get anywhere. And over here, this great mass of Shermans attacked and fired and pinned these down, but didn't take any more out. So that's about it. Okay, so Tris did decide to throw the boys in, and it was very successful. They charged in, they chopped down 3 Italian infantry units, but my commander-in-chief heroically rushed over and killed one of the tanks, and then they failed and have retreated. So we killed a Sherman, but we've lost 3 infantry, and my guys are really rather teed off now. So it's not looking very good. Well, that was Italian turn 2 shooting. It wasn't very good. We've had to abandon that position because those platoons ran away. The last surviving member of the anti-tank platoon ran away. We dropped some mortars on those guys and pinned them, but that's all. The pre-arranged artillery battery came down here. We hit 2 of the tanks, which bounced off. We did kill 2 of the American paratroopers. We're just waiting for reinforcements to arrive. This slightly reduced Sherman platoon plus the reconnaissance platoon has leaped around the edge, avoiding having to make bogging checks. This one is lined up, one's made a bogging check, he went through, opened fire and took out one of the mortars. These failed to unpin, so they dug in. Those failed to unpin, they didn't dug in. And finally over there, these guys lined up and peppered the observer. 3 hits, but he's made all his saves, so that's it. It's Italian turn 3, which means we have a chance to get some reserves in. Hurrah! Okay, well we pounded these with mortar shells and killed another couple off. Everybody else just stood still. We dropped some artillery on the things over there. We hit the dingo and 2 of the tanks, but everything just bounced off. I mean, the shell even bounced off the dingo. I'm not sure how that happened. Other than that, everybody else just stayed tight and dug in. So it's turn 4 and Tris to go, and he's closing in on my objectives. Okay, so this looks a bit worrying because basically these guys have unpinned, they've charged forward, they all fired at my poor observer and he still survived all the bullets. These guys took out one of the mortars, everybody else missed or made saving throws, so now it's his attempt to force an assault, which I think is imminent. Stirring times here at end of turn 4. The tanks charged in over here. They got fired at by my Panzerschreck, which bailed out the Firefly. They killed the second in command. They killed the commander-in-chief, but he came back to life as an unknown hero, and he has scuttled out of the way. So now I make company morale checks at 2+, which means I'm probably going to make a break. He's going to have to kill me all. Unfortunately, it looks like he's doing that rather effectively. So. Well, an eventful turn 4th this time. No more reserves came on. They stuck still because there's not much to do. These opened fire on these tanks, and as you see, they bailed one more out. The Panzerschreck opened fire and killed the one on the back and bailed the other one out. I then charged them and of course captured them all. So that's been very effective. We've actually wiped out my heroic commander-in-chief has done all the duties. Everybody else has basically just moved up, and that's about it. So it's your turn 5, and they've still got more tanks to deal with. Okay, so Triss has just done his turn 5 shooting. The hail of machine gun bullets has finally killed off that observer. These guys came over and fired at that observer there, but missed him. These opened fire and took out the 2 mortars. These opened fire and they killed the Panzerschreck. I can't believe it was dug in, but he killed the Panzerschreck. So now I'm in some trouble. Anyway. This is quite amazing. He moved these things in, and my heroic commander-in-chief, who's now an unknown hero, opened fire with a submachine gun, got 2 bales on one of them. They fell on the ground check and they've run off. This mad Italian colonel leaped up and fired at them with a Schmeiser or whatever. Okay, so is that all your assaults done?
They ran up the double.
They can't do anything. And he's heroically still alive by some bizarre reason. I'm not quite sure why, but he is. Okay, so the artillery's dropped on them, actually killed 2 and pinned them, which is better. These guys have moved in position, and my 720s have charged in, and they've got infantry actually on them because I've got 2 reserves. The guns have just fired. They've not moved; they're just stationary there. Okay, so the 720s came on. They took 2 of the Sherman 5s out, and they have dropped off their infantry and they've pushed forward. Okay, well, depressingly, the Sherman Firefly fired twice at this. Stood still, fired the 720s, and he missed. He needed a 4 and he rolled a 3 and a 2. I think he must have been panicked by the sun and all this rush of Italian armour. These guys have charged out and tried to reach the objective. Those guys still pinned and they failed to dig in. These opened fire and took out my observer, and the Shermans are still stuck by the minefield. So. Yes, it's looking a bit more promising. I've got one more reinforced. I brought on the AB-141 armoured cars. In turn here, the 720s missed the Firefly. He rolled 2 1s and he rolled a 2, and they all missed. These guys out fired the machine guns and picked off 3 or 4 of them. I was going to assault the Daimlers and Dingoes, but because of this, I had to assault this instead. They made the tank terror test. He opened fire, hit 3 times, didn't manage to kill anybody. 3 of my guys hit, and he rolled double 1, so they basically he bails out, so they just occupy him and capture him. These guys failed a morale check and ran, and we're just checking now to see if he's how many platoons you've got. And that's really the end of it. We surrounded these guys, the armoured cars shot them up, and the infantry just came in and captured them. These moved round, took a couple of shots at them, there was a miss, but he's basically got down to just 1 platoon. He just failed a morale check. They're all, well, he's over 50% over, so the game is lost. But Trish did extremely well. The quality of the tank fire over here was just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I was trying to sneak the objective rather than, because it said at the beginning of your turn if you.
Yeah, you've got to win it at the beginning. So you very nearly did it. My heroic commander-in-chief there took out 3 tanks. Promotion to general for you, sir.
That's what turned the whole game. It was going to be crushing victory until.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seemed like I had to try and push for it.
I think you were quite unlucky with the infantry all getting pinned because they didn't move up quick enough. If the infantry had been up there, support the attack, I think it would have probably gone through them.
Well, that's what I said. It's like it wasn't supported.
That lot over there, I think that was quite well. That was okay. The artillery didn't do too badly. It knocked a few of them off.
I didn't think it were a good idea to try and wait for support to arrive.
Actually, no, you got the anti-tank guns. So you killed 3 platoons. So that's 2. That's 4-3 then, isn't it? 4-3. So it's
was it because you just killed them and them, didn't you?
You got the mortars as well.
Oh, the mortars.
They're all broken run.
Mortars.
Yeah, mortars.